This week on Tecomate Whitetail Nation, we're going to the Powder River in southeastern Montana to hunt that river bottom for big whitetails and hunt the hills for mule deer. You know, I've hunted this part of the world a lot, Mark, and it's one of my favorite places in the whole United States to hunt because you got mule deer, you got whitetails. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's just wow. Yeah. I mean, my buddy Bill Perkins, who we're hunting with, I don't know how many tens of thousands, but I could think maybe hundreds of thousands of acres he's got. It's vast. I've hunted there since 1982 and I still hadn't seen it all. Wow. So it's a whole nother world. I mean, it's just a world unique into itself, but the rattling in that river bottom for whitetails is world class. Then you get out in the hills and he's got those big mature mule deer. It is a fun hunt now.
Well, what I've always liked about eastern Montana, especially in those river bottoms, are the alfalfa fields. Yep. And all of those deer piling. To me, that's iconic Montana.
It is.
When you're talking about whitetail hunting, it's the alfalfa fields. Those deer coming from everywhere, coming out of those river bottoms and just piling into those fields.
But Mark, those deer are there because of that alfalfa.
Right.
It's that ag base. You take that ag base out of that river bottom and there aren't any deer there. Yeah. It's all about the agriculture on those river bottoms. It's fantastic hunting, and the densities that are in those river bottoms are some of the highest density populations I've ever seen because there's limited cover and superabundance of food on those irrigated alfalfa fields.
You see lots of deer.
You see lots of deer on the alfalfa, but also when you're walking and rattling those river bottoms. One of my favorite places in the entire United States that I've ever hunted is hunting with Bill Perkins in southeastern Montana on the Powder River. Vast land holdings there. He's got tens of thousands of acres. You're going to have a good hunt. It is just one of the magical places in the United States. It was still, calm, about 22 degrees. Perfect morning, could not ask for a better morning. We're going to Cottonwoods and we started rattling and the bucks poured in. It was one of those mornings that you wait on. I've only seen this 3 or 4 times in my hunting career when everything is right. You're in the right place, you're at the right time, you're in the right weather conditions, and the deer have the right attitude, and you can literally create a buck frenzy, a deer frenzy. These deer came in downwind of us, and they literally started milling around, schooling, if you will, like a school of fish downwind, just milling around. Bucks, does, they were downwind, they were smelling us. Look at him, he just cannot believe there's not a buck fight here. But they were so chummed up, they were so into the rut, they were so convinced there was a buck fight here that they were actually mentally confused. And these deer just milled around. These bucks here in eastern Montana are relatively naive. These are wilderness deer. They don't have a lot of encounters with people. So you can do things with them you can't do with eastern deer. But it is incredible out here. This is one of the greatest hunting experiences a whitetail hunter can have. Several nice bucks. These are mature bucks, just not one that we wanted to shoot. What an incredible session that was. They were so chummed up, they just completely ignored us. They were convinced there was a buck fight there. So we eased on down a little further when these bucks finally did kind of scatter out and started rattling, and the bucks came in again. One big 11-pointer that we rattled in, and he came just right to us and just meandered right to us. It was incredible. He cannot believe his eyes. Why couldn't that be our big boy? We could end it all right here. Is that fun or what? Eastern Montana is tops. I truly pity people that have not had the experience of hunting big whitetails. Another big 10, he slipped in below us. Then he got on the doe and started following her. Probably a 150 class 10, but he was not the deer that we had targeted. And I really had that deer in my mind. He's the buck I've got my heart set on, so I think we're gonna hold off. So we let this buck pass, but it was an incredible morning, one of the best mornings of whitetail hunting that I've ever had. Incredible. I had 12 around me at one time on a rattling session. And Mark, the thing that was amazing, these are such wild deer and they have so little human contact. They were milling around downwind of me at 50 and 60 yards, knowing I'm there, and still just milling around thinking, there's a fight here and I've got to find it. I see those, whatever that is, but where's the fight? And they just couldn't believe their eyes or their nose. It's amazing. Such is Montana. So once again, down to the last day of the hunt. All bets are off. We're gonna get in there and we're gonna mix it up with these whitetails. The plan was to ease in before daylight, get in position, and then rattle, and then just stand and hold your position. You want to see the deer before they see you. It is key. That was the plan. Got in great position, everything was right. I looked up and I saw a doe running, and I saw a buck trailing her with his head down. And when he raises his head, I see it is the 10-pointer that we are after. Holy smokes. I'm gonna tell you, this is one gorgeous deer. Look at the brows on this thing. That's one thing about these Montana deer. I see really good brow tines on them, great mass, it's good and heavy. This is one fine buck. Great, great Powder River buck here in eastern Montana. And yet again, a great hunt with Bill Perkins. Always have a great hunt with Bill. And the beauty of this country is you can hunt big whitetails or big muleys. Whatever you see, you can take. You only get one, but you can shoot either one. My goodness, what a buck. We in Tecomate Properties, Mark, we also have properties listed from the West, and more people like me are becoming intrigued with the incredible hunting in the West. There for a long time, it was all about mountain game. You know, it was about sheep or it was about elk and maybe moose. But more and more people are realizing there's game all over the West, and some of the absolute best hunting experiences that anybody can have are in those Western states. And Tecomate Properties has those properties listed as well.
Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, awesome whitetail hunting.
And again, in a lot of that country, there's so much public land.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy the world to experience the best the West has to offer. Like my place in Montana, it's only 80 acres. It sits in the middle of the wilderness, so I am actually adjoining the Bob Marshall Wilderness area. There's nothing but public land back of me for the next 80 miles.
Wow.
And it's I don't need to own it all. I can just get out and go. I can go a whole lot further than my legs can take me out there, I tell you. The West is an incredible opportunity to buy a getaway place for your family and enjoy it and have a fantastic all year round experience. The West is kind of the new playground of America. Mark, Montana is Montana, and it can be cold.
Oh, I bet.
And I was on a hunt there where in 5 days or 4 days, it got down to almost 20 below, and I got out and walked and rattled, but I had to pace myself on how long I could stay out. I couldn't stay out in that much longer than about an hour. You had to get back to warmth. You just start getting that creeping cold. You can't stay warm. And it was interesting to see the deer's behavior in it. I rattled in quite a few deer in it, but they didn't come hard. They kind of, they'd stand up. By the way, I rattled a lot of them up out of their beds. I'd see them stand up. They were trying to shelter themselves, and I'd see them stand up. And then they would come, but they wouldn't come hard. They'd just kind of come over and look. It's kind of funny when that.
Way too cold to be
It's too cold. Yeah, it's too cold.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah, and I'm gonna break my antlers if I fight over there for sure. But it was an interesting experience hunting in that cold of weather, because that reminded me of Canadian hunting. But I had a great hunt. I took my buddy Eric Lundgren, who's with Remington up there, and Eric wanted to shoot a mule deer.
if we can just get them found, we'll be in shape.
Good. Looking forward to trying to track them down.
Yeah.
So Bill took us back to that general area where they saw those big bucks the day before, and we were just hoping that they were still going to be bedded up out of the wind. And you know, we spotted and stalked it for quite a while, and we didn't see them, and I was getting a little concerned that we weren't going to. But we kept moving, and we kept looking and stalking and spotting, and finally there he was. So when we first spotted them, of course, we backed off and we came up with a plan. They were bedded down. We knew they weren't moving. They may have had an idea that there was something up there, but they weren't spooked. So Bill and I backed off, and we started talking about how we were going to approach it. We decided we were going to creep up on a ledge. They were kind of a little bit lower elevation than we were, and so we made our way up and got set up on them. It felt like it was forever for him to get up, but I think it was just a few seconds, maybe 30 at the most. Then that doe finally stood up, and when that doe stood up, he stood up. I thought I was immune to buck fever, not immune to buck fever. Actually, I got him in the sights, and I was ready. My heart was beating faster than it ever has, I think. But they knew we were there at that point. He started to take off. I had a nice shot on him, and I squeezed it off. I know I got a really good hit on him, and so he went over the draw.
I think you hit him solid. He's going around the corner there. Watch him, watch him.
And we decided to just sit and wait for a few minutes and see what happened, relax a little bit, and then we went to go track him. Wow! Bill, this is awesome. Look at him. Look at this beauty.
Great deer.
Beauty, thank you very much.
Good job.
Look at this beautiful deer. This is a mature Montana muley right here.
Heavy horn, good brows.
Wow. He is a beauty.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the truck, and you stay here, and we'll get him loaded up and get him hauled out of here.
All right.
We don't have a lot of daylight left.
All right.
Be back in a few minutes.
All right.
It's our third morning, and it is extremely windy. The wind is howling, so we're gonna get down here in this river bottom, and we're going in after them. We're gonna get in there and mix it up with them. So we're getting aggressive this morning. We'll see what happens. Eric took a great mule deer yesterday afternoon, and we're after whitetails this morning. We'll see what we can do. It's tough when it's daybreak here in the river bottoms and not one deer on his feet moving. They're all down. This wind has got them down. Even though the temperature is warmed up, now we're having to contend with wind, so we will contend. This is about as tough a challenge as you're going to get. We're here a little bit before the rut. It has been bitterly cold the last 3 or 4 days, and now we're facing extremely high winds, gusty, almost tropical storm level winds. These deer are not going to move unless we make them move. We just about have to step on them. As much as anything, the rattling, I'm just trying to get them to get up. I'm not necessarily expecting them to come in, but maybe we want to stand up out here in the grass so we can get a shot at him and look at him. So we began walking. I did do some rattling. Nothing came the first couple of rattling sessions. We stopped one time and rattled, and I mean I beat the crap out of these antlers. I beat the dickens out of them against the tree, made all sorts of ruckus. I don't even know if they could hear me rattle if they were more than 50 yards from us. It was that loud. A day like this with this strong gusty wind, there are a lot of booger bears out here for them. They just cannot get comfortable. They're way too high strung to be able to take all this movement. the loss of their scent advantage and the loss of their vision advantage, because everything's moving. Going around them here, I want to take in as much of the good habitat as possible, so we're swung far to the south. We're going to get down near the river so that we're kind of cutting them off, and then we'll just start working this river bottom and hope we can move something. We finished our third rattling sequence when we looked up and there was a doe moving off to the right. Well, I'm glad to see one up. That's good. And we looked to the left and there was a good buck standing there. I don't know if he was coming to the rattling antlers. I think he was. I think it's just a slow response, which you often see when they're not switched on. They just kind of slip in, tip in, and very carefully approach. And this deer seemed to be doing that. He was working his way our way, just picking his way through the cottonwoods. And I saw that he was either a 9 or a 10. I could see a G4 on one side, good mass. And as soon as I got a good read on him, I decided I'm gonna take that deer. He's right here close. He's right here close to the left. He's over this dead tree with a snow on top of it. Yeah, he's close. All right, you on him? All right, here we go. You ready? We have overcome extremely long odds and just shot a very good eastern Montana whitetail. I'm telling you, today is about as bad as it gets to hunt. We have 30-mile-an-hour winds, 19 degrees, snow and nearly blizzard conditions, and we have just killed us a very nice buck. I tell you what, this is rough going here, but I love hunting whitetails. I don't care where it is and what it is and how you hunt them. I love hunting whitetails. Let's go see this thing. It is a cold bugger out here this morning, but I am now warmed up and in good shape. He's a beautiful 10. Nothing broken except a little chip on his brow there. Good mass. And he's old. He's at least 6. And that's what I love about him. Hunting big, mature whitetails on the ground is the ultimate hunting challenge to me. If you can get on the ground and come out on top with a big whitetail in his habitat, him doing his thing, he has intimate knowledge of this terrain. You're an intruder, you're entering his domain and come out on top. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the privilege of doing that very thing. Thank you.